Farias has made national headlines over the last week, the second time in the last decade. First, when he was reported missing, now as investigators try to unravel where he's been and what's happened.
There have been crimes committed here, but how do you get to the bottom of it, and how do you get it to the point where you can prosecute the case?
At his mother as being behind it. Neighbors saying they're shocked to learn that he was ever classified as missing. Activist Quanell X became involved, he says, at the family's request. Speaking to the 25-year-old, he says, in front of detectives. Quanell says Farias made allegations of abuse against his mother. At a news conference Thursday, police say there was no abuse reported to them.
They're absolute liars. That man heard everything that I heard.
Mark Stevens, a former Houston police detective, says Quanell has made it nearly impossible for charges to be filed if evidence proves the assault happened.
He got on national television and declared to the world that for the past 8 years, Rudy, the alleged victim here, has been on psychedelic drugs. So basically for the past decade, he's been hallucinating. Why would you then believe him when he tells you these horrible stories about his mother?
Stevens says it's possible the investigators will shift the focus of their investigation to fraud. HPD tweeted out a reminder earlier this evening that their investigation is active and ongoing, asking that everyone respects the process.
I'm tired of this, and this has to stop somewhere. Rudy needs help.
In downtown Houston, Micah Hatfield, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
What it do? It's 903 Boxing. I'm your host, Charles J. Listen, I just heard about this. I actually was looking up Quanell X because I heard him speak a couple times, and when I looked him up, I came across this, and I think this is a very shocking story. I think this is very shocking, but before I ever get to that, I just got to say something. To my audience, to those who listen to me on a regular, now we're looking at some of my analytical data. When you got a channel, you can look at certain things. You can look at the ages of who listen to you. You can look at if it's more men listen to you or more women. 90% of my audience is black, is men. It's black men between the ages of 20 and 55. Also, I found out 70% of my audience is not even subscribed. So that means 70% of y'all who listen to me are not subscribed. So I just want to take the time out. I know I don't say this often, but yeah, if you like the video, smash the like button. It don't cost nothing. But if you do want to pay some, you can hit my Cash App, CJ Superstar 89. And subscribe to the channel. It's called support. If you listening to me and if you feel what I'm saying, and if you constantly listen to me, that means you got to be constantly feeling what I'm saying, and we must be in agreement about something. So I think it don't hurt nothing to subscribe to the channel. And thanks for the support. But let's get to the shit. First and foremost, Rudy Farias. Listen, this is a strange story, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've seen parents get crucified for way less. The mother's not being charged with nothing. Okay, this is the story. The boy was about 16, 17, because he's 24 now. He was about 16, 17, and he ran away from home. She reported him missing, but he was only gone for 2 days. When he came back, she told him, look, you're going to have to hide out because they're going to lock you up for a long time and you in trouble with the police. So she convinced him to hide out. She hid him for 8 years in that house. He said she was giving him shrooms and all kind of psychedelic drugs. She was giving him alcohol, and he was her sex slave. Yeah, he said that she forced him to be call himself daddy and shit like that. And I guess she was playing mama and daddy or some shit. But this went on for 8 years. Said she beat him, tortured him, used to lock him in the room. And this is what fucked me up. She used to have family gatherings at her house. The family would come because one of the family members came out and said, listen, I looked in the backyard because it's a bunch of woods behind the fence. She would make the boy hide in the woods while they was partying. Yeah, while they was eating and chilling, he would hide in the backyard and she have him a TV dinner or something back there. And she said it was broken Farias and broken liquor bottles, all kind of TV dinners, all kind of food back there. You can tell somebody had been back there in them woods. So he would stay in the woods while the family would get together. The boy said she sexually abused him, physically abused him, and mentally abused him, and he just couldn't take no more. So he drove her car and just ran away. Also, she would let him drive her around. He was her chauffeur. He would drive her around because after some years, she just changed his name and just recreated him. Neighbors knew him. He would go over there and clean up for the neighbors. Nobody knew that this was the missing boy. So he ran away. Okay, Cornell X get in touch with him and he interviewed him and said the boy said some of the most horrific things. He said the boy got scars all on his arm, all on his chest. Look like he been cut with blades and shit. It's deep cuts all through his body. Okay, I done said all this and that. And okay. All this evidence, but the mother has not been charged. They ordered him to go back home to his mama. She was not charged with nothing. So that's why I'm having a problem with it. They saying that the boy is lying and okay. First and foremost, whether you agree with her drugging him or sexually abusing him, whether you agree with any of that, the fact that she kept this boy head off for 8 years, that lets you know automatically it's some weird shit going on. Why would she hide her son out for 8 years and have family gatherings at the house and the whole family think that they nephew and their cousin is dead somewhere or missing when he's in the backyard? Also, she was getting checks because she had some kind of, I guess, GoFundMe or whatever for my missing child. She would get thousands and thousands of dollars. So she was getting papered up. They not charged. They let him go back home with his mother. There has been no slander towards his mother. When you hear the news people talk about, they do not say anything bad about her. They say nothing bad about her. They don't criticize. They don't say nothing. Listen, bro, whether you believe she sexually assaulted him or gave him drugs, the fact that you kept this boy here for 8 years, it ain't like you was on the run for murder. It ain't like it was some shit like that. No, it ain't like you had to change your name and go to another country. You still had the same identification and you kept your boy head off. That alone lets me know it was something weird. Why would you hide him? Why would you hide him? Listen, what angers me the most is the fact that I've seen women lose their kids over way less shit. And when you think about Child Protective Services, bro, that's why I say it's really a scam. Yes, sometimes they really find abused children who really need to get out of a situation, but most of it is about divide and conquer. Child Protective Service is no different from the court system. It's a place of business. They make billions of dollars a year off breaking up homes. Yeah, man, I done seen women lose their child for smoking a blunt. Yeah, for failing for weed, and the neighbor done said they saw him smoking weed, and they do a hair test and take that child. You mean to tell me I can lose my child for smoking a blunt, but I can hide my child in the woods and hide him off for 8 years and have family gatherings and don't nobody see my boy for 8 years, and now he come out and say I abused him and she don't go to jail or nothing, and he ordered to go right back home to her? Nah, bro, it's some weird shit. And like I said, at this point, with all the child trafficking, with all the stuff that go on with kids, America cares nothing about the children and the abuse that goes on with children. So it's just a business, bro. Another thing I want to point out, they keep making it like it's old. Let me expose that. Oh, it was 8 years ago. Yeah, she abused him 8 years ago, and that's just too long ago to charge her. Bill Cosby, is he out yet? Wasn't that about 40 years ago? For some shit, some random women started coming out for something from 40 years ago and they locked him up and he was damn near 80 some years old. So like I said, if we gonna talk about the law and the protect and serve, it gotta go all the way across the board. So at this point, bro, I just think it's a lot of crookedness. I think that woman is sick. Even if she didn't drug him, even if she didn't sexually abuse him, she hid him out for a reason. She had him living like a caveman. That's mental abuse alone. So these motherfuckers, they convict who they want. They take the rights of people that they want. Like I said, I know good mothers who just was drinking that night and caught a DWI and lost their child. You know how many parents that I know would give anything for their child, but they made one mistake and lost their child forever. But somebody can hide their child for 8 years and do weird shit to them and go right back home to their child. It lets me know that this justice system is just a bunch of bullshit. Child Protective Services is a place of business. They don't care nothing about child predators. They don't care nothing about that, bro. That shit is a business. Most of these motherfuckers in Hollywood are child predators. So that's how I feel about it. This is 903 Boxing. I am your host, Joe J. With that, I'm out.